Hi, and welcome to our next episode of a Slice of Pie podcast. This week, we were going to have a guest, a friend of mine that's in real estate, but her flight was canceled as she was coming back into town, and so I could not film her today. So today, we're going to do a question and answer session with me, and it's going to be about anything in Pawleys Island, Murrells Inlet, Georgetown area. Then I'll answer some real estate questions and also a football question or two. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. So here we go. Our first question today came from, let's see where it is, came from Natalie in Pawleys Island. And she said, what is your favorite restaurant in Pawleys Island? Well, Natalie, that's a tough question because we have so many good restaurants in Pawleys Island. We have fine dining restaurants, casual restaurants, family type restaurants, takeout restaurants. So I'd have to really not I'm not able to choose one. Three of my favorite fine dining restaurants are going to be Bistro 217, Frank's Restaurant, and Chive Blossom. And a casual restaurant we've been to a lot has been um, Quigley's Restaurant. So I recommend that a lot. So and then my favorite place to go for ice cream is Gilbert's Ice Cream. So if you haven't tried those places, go ahead and try those places. Another question is, tell us about the legend of the gray man. Who is the gray man? So the gray man is a friendly ghost that visits beach homes before a hurricane. And he apparently, I've never seen the gray man, but he is dressed in a raincoat and a hat, and he will come knock on your door and say, you need to evacuate. So you need to listen to what the gray man tells you. Typically, if the gray man visits your home will be spared from any damage from the hurricane. So gray man's a good guy. Then our other friendly ghosts, we've also been asked about who is Alice Flagg. Alice Flagg is another one of our friendly ghosts in Pawleys Island. Alice Flagg was a young girl originally from Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, and she fell in love as a teenager with a boy that her brother did not want her hanging out with. Alice's family was wealthy, and this boy was just a common laborer type of person. So in order for Alice's older brother to get them apart, he sent Alice to a girls' boarding school in Charleston, South Carolina. Now, this was a long time ago, closer to the 1900s. So while Alice was at this boarding school in Charleston, she became ill, and they had to go get her and bring her back to Murrells Inlet. While she lay sick in her bed in Murrells Inlet, they discovered she had on a chain around her neck, and on the chain was a ring that boy had given her. And the brother got so mad, he pulled it off her neck and he flung it out into the marsh. And shortly after that, Alice Flagg died. But her ghost is said to be looking for the ring, in the marsh. And there is a tombstone, a flat headstone in All Saints Church Cemetery in Pawleys Island that just says nothing but Alice on it. And a lot of visitors will come in reverently to that cemetery, and they will walk around backwards 3 times or 7 times, I'm not sure, and expect to see Alice. Sometimes the rings on their hand will turn. You see people that even leave their rings there. But there was a long time ago some girls from Queens College that did that. They went to visit the little grave site there, and apparently they saw Alice sitting on the brick wall. One of the girls fainted. So those are our 2 friendly ghosts. Gray Man, who will protect your house if he visits your house before a hurricane, and Alice Flagg, who is looking for her ring that was flung out into the marsh. All right. Our next question is about real estate, and it comes from my daughter, Mary Catherine Loftus. Thank you, Mary Catherine. And she lives in Greenville now. And she asked, where are young people buying houses and condos on the Waccamaw Neck? That's a great question. We don't have a whole lot of houses to sell on the Waccamaw Neck. Back in 2020, we had about an 8-month supply of inventory of houses and condos. During COVID, as more and more people moved here, that supply of places to live went down to 1 month in 2022. That was our inventory, a 1-month inventory. Now in 2023, as things have leveled out and the interest rates have risen, we have a 3-month supply of houses. However, even though we have some more houses to purchase now, prices have not gone down. So typically, regardless if you are in Pawleys Island or if you're in Murrells Inlet or Georgetown, If you're trying to look for your first home, you're going to spend at least $400,000 if you can find one. If you're down in Georgetown and go a little bit farther out, you can maybe find one in the $200,000 to $300,000 range. Young people do like to live in Willowbank in Georgetown. If you could find something in the historic district in Georgetown, young people love being in the historic district of Georgetown. But those homes can be expensive and they're hard to find. But there are a lot of young people in downtown Georgetown. There are a lot of young people that live up in Murrells Inlet, not far from the creek, because there's a lot of restaurants and fun nightlife there. So a lot of people do like to live up in Murrells Inlet too. And we have a few young people in Pawleys Island, but mostly they're in downtown Georgetown and Murrells Inlet. Okay, our next question is, what is the best place to buy or eat seafood? Well, historically, there has been a place in Murrells Inlet called Harrelson Seafood, where you can go and get your fresh seafood, your fresh fish, fresh shrimp or fresh crabs, oysters. And so that's a place that a lot of people have enjoyed going, is Harrelson's. I'm so excited to announce that Harrelson's is opening a new location in Pawleys Island. Some of y'all may know there was a car wash, not Coastal Car Wash, but a smaller car wash close to Surf the Earth. It's kind of a self-serve automated that you go through. Well, that is no longer a car wash, and Harrelson's is turning that whole location into another place where you can go buy fresh seafood. So we were really excited about that. Excited to have Harrelson Seafood open another place that we can buy fresh seafood. So if you're in the area looking for fresh seafood that you can buy, take home and prepare yourself, check out Harrelson's Seafood. All right, next question. Now we're going to get into the football segment of our podcast. Only got one football question. And this question comes from Bo O'Neill, and Bo lives in Devido. And he said, why are Tyler Grisham and Wes Goodwin still employed? Well, Tyler Grisham and Wes Goodwin were our coaches, our assistant coaches for Clemson. And as most of you know, Clemson lost to Duke in a big way this past Monday night on Labor Day. So it really upset a lot of Clemson fans and angered them. And Clemson was supposed to be so good and have so many 4- and 5-star players, where Duke did not. But Duke just outplayed Clemson, and Clemson just failed miserably. So, Bo, I don't know. I've never heard of a coach being fired after one game. I'm sure they're going to be given a second chance. But I tell you what, Bo, if the Clemson football team doesn't recover quickly and find their mojo and their way to play defense and their way to catch passes, maybe some of those coaches will get fired. It is yet to be seen, but I think everything is up for grabs at this point. We do want to wish our local football teams well. We hope the USC Gamecocks play a great game. They can get a win this week. We hope Clemson gets a win over Charleston Southern. We hope the Citadel gets a win. We hope that the Georgia Bulldogs and the UNC Tar Heels get a win. And whoever you cheer for, I hope they get a win, especially our Waccamaw Warriors. I know they're playing football tonight, so I hope the Waccamaw Warriors also can get a win. So thank you so much for listening for this shorter version of our Slice of Pie podcast here from my front porch. And if you ever have any questions, anything you want to know about Pawleys Island, Murrells Inlet, Devido, Georgetown, about just anything, or about real estate, or about football, because I love talking about college football, just send me a text or a DM, whatever, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. I hope y'all have a great weekend. We do have a guest planned for next Friday, and you will really enjoy listening to her. Have a great weekend, and I hope your team wins. Bye.